And then, you know, Kash Patel goes on Joe Rogan and says, hey, there ain't no videos. If I had a video of a guy on an island committing a felony, don't you think you know about it?
Again, logical play.
There's a bunch of other people who are saying that they have videos and pictures and evidence of the Jeffrey Epstein doing crazy shit with kids with clients, right? After everyone was saying that, the FBI director, which is probably the biggest liar in the entire room, right? This guy right here, Kash Patel, I'm not gonna how to say roast him for doing his job, but his job is to basically lie to you. Let's be honest, you're the FBI director. You can literally shoot down a bunch of terrorist generals in their bedrooms, you know, in a particular war that we're not gonna really talk about. And you're telling me that you can do that, but you cannot find evidence of Jeffrey Epstein doing, you know, the PP. You know, we're not gonna say that word, so they're gonna get banned. This guy is a joke. I mean, well, he's not a joke. He's paid to lie. Okay, he's going to lie out of his teeth. Whatever Kash Patel says, you don't believe it, right? It's most likely in between the lines, or the only time that you actually believe what they say, it's like maybe when they kill terrorists or something. That's the only time when you'll believe them. But apart from that, I don't think you should believe the words of the FBI director. He is trained to lie to the public. That's what they do. Let's be honest, right? They're never going to tell you the truth. If there's even UFOs, if there's mermaids, if there's, I don't know what the fuck they find out there, a mummy that is alive, the FBI won't tell you, right? No one's going to tell you shit. That's the level of confidence I have in his words, you know, unless it's particular cases.
If there was a video of some guy or gal committing felonies on an island and I'm in charge, don't you think you'd see it?
It's already. Seems like a bit of a contradiction.
Yes.
Now, Joe Rogan even tries to give him the out, like, oh, maybe you don't have it. And he's like, no, we're giving you everything.
If you have
No, you're lying.
If I have it, period.
Right.
If I have
You know why he's not going to show it? Because there's probably people in there who does not want to be seen, and they probably are very high up in the government, or they're probably friends of the president or something like that. I'm telling you right now, Jeffrey Epstein was probably a very smart person. If he shot any videos that might incriminate him, there will always be someone in that video who is very prominent, and he knows that if it ever comes out, that person will do whatever it takes to not have those videos out. I'm telling you right now. So it's not like they don't have it, and it's not like they don't have clips of just Jeffrey Epstein and all the other stuff with the kids, but they cannot do it because it's all in the probably in the same length, or probably there is a prominent person in the shot of the video. I'm telling you right now, that's what I see.
If I have it.
Right. If you have it.
Right.
But you can't say that you have it.
No, we're giving you everything we have.
Bullshit. I call bullshit.
Everything we have so far.
He's
Have
lying.
you guys gone over all the video that's available?
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. That's what takes so much damn time.
And so
Nope,
they're
he's
already in a
lying.
wedge with what we were sort of
Oh.
told we're gonna get versus
Again,
then they come out and say, hey,
You know, again, we cannot really blame him and cannot call him a piece of shit and stuff like that, because the guy is paid, right? The guy is paid to lie to you, and he's literally under the president, right? He isn't going to, you know, go behind the president's back and backstab him. I mean, that would technically be like treason, and he'd probably get fired and put in jail. So if I was him too, you know, if I was working under the US government as director of the FBI, and if like Trump told me to freaking throw that shit out the window, I'd probably do it, because either I'd go to jail or I won't survive long in this world, right? Say what you must, but no matter how civilized people are, you know, and how we constantly make fun of dictators and stuff, when it comes to things like this that may harm your reputation, people become monsters. People become worse than dictators. I'm telling you, they have the videos, they have the pictures, but they can't release it, and they've probably deleted most of it at this point. Or maybe they won't have deleted it because they would have kept all that, so they could blackmail people into falling in line. You know, I'm just putting my tinfoil hat. I'm not accusing anyone. It's just a tinfoil hat. It's just a theory. Here's the one thing I'll tell you right now. Politicians are fucking corrupt. This is why I also don't like to talk about, you know, politics from time to time, because no matter how deep you dig into this thing, you'll never get anywhere, because they are the biggest liars. And they have the power to shut you up if they want to. I just look at stuff like this, Jeffrey Epstein, and I just laugh. and I say I put my tinfoil hat on, right, and just look on the outside with my popcorn and just haha, dumbass, I know you're lying. But that's pretty much all I'm gonna do, you know. I'm just gonna laugh on the outside.
Nothing to see here. And today is a little bit more of that. It's a little bit more of the finger wagging at the conspiracy theorists, which is ironic given that both Kash Patel and Dan Bongino, who have now come out saying there's nothing to see here, guys.
Yeah.
We're saying, oh, there's a lot to see here before they got in.
Who killed Jeffrey Epstein?
This doesn't look right. It doesn't look like a suicide.
It's unbelievable. The guy killed himself.
Now, maybe that's because they did a deep dive and they're just being honest with people.
Again, you want me to get...
Nope.
I've seen the whole thing.
Nope, they're not.
But I think you deserve criticism if you're going to engage
No.
in this type of conspiratorial thinking and then...
I'm pretty sure at the start, when the FBI or whoever, the CIA, when they raided Jeffrey Epstein's place, they probably found all the evidence, found all the videos, and at first he was doing his job, right? He was like, okay, we found the evidence. We're going to tell everybody we've seen the videos. We know what's going on. And then the moment they did that press conference and said, we have a lot of things to look at, probably the next second, 20 seconds later, he probably received a call in the back and say, yeah, you didn't see anything. And all he need to do is just listen to that voice that told him, yeah, you didn't see anything. And he's like, yep, I did not see anything. Because that's why there was just, you saw that. Before this, when people asked them if they had evidence, they said, yes, we had evidence. And it's very clear and with video and photos. And then the next time you see them, no, there was nothing. I'm telling you the truth, there's nothing. Look, come on, guys. I also like to say this. Technically, it's karma, but I like to make karma sound a little bit more fun. When you die, if there is a God and if there is judgment, I'm going to tell you right now, you might not have a favorable judgment. And I'm not a oh God, I believe in, you know, I'm just saying it's a fun thing. This is how I'm going to make karma sound a little bit more scary. When the time comes, let's see how you scurry out of that one. I'm just gonna say
you expect the trust of the people. If you're the one saying like, hey, those guys can't be trusted, you become that guy and you go, well, guys, you can trust me, right?
Yep.
I'm gonna say the exact same thing. Everyone's been saying this whole time. That's why it's so stupid. I mean, you guys set up all the wrong expectations. You told us we're going to reveal the truth.
Yeah.
Now they're saying there's nothing to see here, and shame on you for thinking there was. And once again,
yep.
this is more
shame on you. Yes, they say shame on you.
Statement, we
oh my
actually
God.
find immediately first page, second paragraph, saying that there's a large volume of images of Epstein, images and videos of victims who are either minors or appear to be minors. My question is, there's no one else? In this statement, they admit that Epstein harmed over 1,000 victims. So you got 1,000 people, either some form of evidence that he harmed.
Yeah.
Nobody else was involved. Epstein's around the most powerful people on the planet. 1,000 victims. No, nobody else. There's images and videos.
Literally, what CoffeeZilla said. 1,000 victims, but oh, there's nobody involved. What does it mean by 1,000 victims but nobody involved? How can they be 1,000 victims but 0 people who were involved? Did Epstein harm all 1,000 victims on his own? Was he that horny of an old man? Wouldn't he have died of, you know, overly having too much fun, which people have died in jail for having too much fun with their right hand? Okay, in my opinion, basically, this whole Epstein files thing, it's never going to come out. No one's ever going to find out who it is. It's just a fun thing to make fun of at this point, right? I think the best thing for this is to make crazy tinfoil hat theories, constantly make this to make fun of the people who are in there. We basically mess with them mentally until maybe one day somebody cracks and says, this is the truth. I bet you that would happen if we kept on making all these crazy theories and maybe throwing names in. You know, basically you're like scaring the shit out of people, right? That's probably the only way we might catch these people or find out who it is. We'll never catch them. But maybe one day when we've them too much in the head, they will break. I'm going to tell you this as well. The first person who admits will probably change his statement within the hour, or that person will probably disappear or probably have an accident in his yacht. I'm just telling you right now, that shit's about to happen. This is the Epstein files. There's so many rich, powerful people They could be anything. They could be presidents. They could be politicians. They just could be rich billionaires. I'm telling you, they're all in the Epstein files. Remember, this is just a tinfoil head theory. I'm just gonna dig myself right into the conspiracy theory and go extremely crazy. Yeah, and also that one thing where Elon Musk said that Trump was in the Epstein files and all of a sudden he backtracks. Yeah, I have this feeling deep down inside me. Just maybe Elon Musk, when he was still working under Trump, he probably has seen the Epstein files and, you know, asked around a little bit. He probably saw a particular video, maybe that had Trump or a picture or something, and he straight out said it. But I am very, very sure on the same day, a conspiracy theory, just saying, I'm not saying anything, but just tinfoil head. I'm very sure that same particular day, he probably had some nice phone calls that said you didn't see anything and there was no such thing as Trump in Epstein files. That's all they needed to say. And I think the most richest man in the world would probably fold too, because that's quite scary. I know you're the richest man in the world, but if everyone wants you gone, yeah, you'll probably fold. I'm just saying that. I think if Elon Musk flies to Mars, that is the only time where he will finally say what he has seen. Right, that's all I'm saying. Tinfoil head theory. I think it's a fun thing to make fun of. Poor old Elon Musk almost got himself in trouble with a bunch of rich billionaires who does not want to be named. Okay, now I'm going out of topic. Let's continue.
Else is on camera, right? Because otherwise, that would mean that the FBI director went on Joe Rogan and told a lie.
Yep, exactly.
There was a video of some guy or gal committing felonies on an island, and I'm in charge. Don't you think you'd see it?
No.
But he says he's going to get the evidence out. So how do you square this, right? There's 1,000... Was Epstein just filming himself the whole time? Like, did he put it in the evidence box? I mean, that's the ridiculous thing about this. Why would you film yourself committing these acts? That's where the whole black angle came from.
Yes, exactly.
There's all these videos. For what, right? And I'm sure those people, these powerful people, did not consent to being recorded. So
yes,
what else was this being used for? It's just pretty amazing. This whole statement seems to absolve any third parties, saying that they really have nothing else that they can bring that would expose third parties to allegations of illegal wrongdoing. Saying later, this systemic review revealed no incriminating client list. Now, here's I gotta say, like,
that's the biggest lot of bullshit I've heard.
The little notebook that had the like, every guy that did something wrong on it. Yeah, obviously that's probably not going to exist, right?
Yep. It's all in video and photos.
Videos and somebody appears in the video doing something.
It's all digitally saved. Photos, videos, voice recordings. Probably even if there was like, for example, I don't know, thumbprints to get inside the compound, or I don't know, something like that. The FBI has it. Again, if they have not deleted it already, they have probably kept it somewhere as blackmail. This is what the FBI does. Like, we all know this. The FBI will threaten you with blackmail if you don't follow what they tell you to do. So right now, if I was a billionaire or a rich dude or a politician who was in the Epstein files, I would be very scared, actually. Well, technically yes and no, because they probably won't release it because they're gonna incriminate themselves. But anyone who's also on Trump's side or who fled over to Trump's side, you know, they probably know he has the files. And okay, another tinfoil head theory. Do you know why, you know, sometimes all these Trump guys are so loyal to him? They never speak up. They never change their mind. Whatever he says, they agree. Maybe some of them, you know, in my tinfoil head theory thoughts, is afraid of something like the Epstein files. You know, he literally has the power over them. Literally. If you even so much as backstab him, if Trump wanted to, I'm just saying, you know, I'm not saying he's gonna do it, or maybe not even Trump, maybe the FBI, you know, if you try to backstab him, they would one day just, oops, my hand slipped, and then you have a picture of yourself next to Epstein and a bunch of, I don't know, kids, and hopefully that's not what it is, but, you know, maybe with baby oil or some shit, next level Diddy stuff. I'll also say this. The Diddy stuff, it's very bad, and of course he's gonna walk anyway. The Diddy stuff is bad too, but it was only focused on Hollywood. The Diddy thing is basically Epstein files from Temu. I will say this right now. The Epstein files is the next level shit. You know, if you want to really see who has the bigger play here, it's definitely this one. I think it's also quite scary right now that basically Diddy is free, because Diddy is going to blackmail everybody when he leaves. I'm telling you right now, he's literally going to go on a rampage. He is literally going to blackmail every single person that he has names on just to save himself. And this time 100% confirmed, nobody is going to speak up against him, because somehow he could even get the courts to side him. So you imagine that if Diddy, you know, just a rich rapper, influential guy in the music scene, can sway the court. What do you think about the Epstein guys, huh? The courts will never even talk about it, because maybe even the courts were in the Epstein fight, because this whole thing was very big. Epstein knew almost every single person of importance. He was seen with a lot of them in pictures. So this guy, yeah, this guy is very dangerous, but somehow they got rid of him. Probably a bunch of them got rid of him. Like, put some money together to get rid of him quickly, you know, stuff like that. Or maybe not, maybe just, you know, someone in the US government just said, right, too much, let's just end him. But yeah.
But that's a client, right? So I just find it so hard to believe. I just don't believe.
Nope.
I do not believe.
Same. Yep.
You had so many videos, apparently enough to catalog over 1,000 victims, and not a single other person other than Epstein appeared on any of them, right?
Yeah.
He's friends with all these famous people. He got rich, and nobody knows how he got rich. People suspect that it was some form of blackmail, but
it's blackmail.
The FBI seems to basically say this is.
I'm gonna tell you right now. Yep. The way Epstein got rich is he basically blackmailed a lot of people, and they probably gave him a lot of money to shut up, and he was basically running a pretty good business. At the end of the day, I'll just say this also. A lot of these politicians, a lot of these famous people, a lot of this you know, there's influential people. They, most of the time, these people carry a personality, a good, positive, non-problematic personality. It's a mask. In my opinion, a lot of these people, these influential people, are pieces of shit, right? Especially people in the government. I'm going to tell you, there's not everybody in the government is bad. Not every influential person, not every rich person is a piece of shit, but majority of them are. They think they can get away with everything just because they have the power currently and they're rich. So, you know, they need to find a place to release the monster inside of them somewhere. So someone like Jeffrey Epstein, he probably has the idea of, you know what? Let's go find all these people and find a place for them to release all their disgusting monsters, whatever bullshit that they want to release. And that's why he has an island, right? This is the place where people go to release so that they don't implode in public. I'm telling you right now, that's what this place is for. They were so desperate to release it that they probably agreed to everything that Epstein said. And I also think they probably didn't know that Epstein really was recording them. This one I can 100% agree and confirm. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I don't fucking understand why all these influential people, they always have something to do with minors. It's always something to do with child. We're not gonna say the word because we're gonna get censored on YouTube, but it's always got to do with this. It's always about children. I don't understand why you people come after children. If you think about it this way, these influential people, they want someone who cannot fight back. They want someone who is pure. They want someone that they can defile because they're pure, and then they feel good about themselves. That is basically the idea right behind this. And I talked about this about Ghost as well. You know, they like to mess with children because they're the purest thing, and if you can mess with it, it shows that you're powerful. So in a way, human beings, some particular human beings, you know, maybe they're, you know, maybe not human beings anymore. Maybe they're demons deep down.
It's a conspiracy theory. They say perpetuating unfounded theories about Epstein serves neither of those ends of combating child exploitation and bringing justice to victims. You know, I actually agree with that. I do think we have to be careful not to jump to, you know, conspiracy theories. The problem is when you release contradictory
Yes.
evidence, it makes people think that you're hiding stuff. Like that is not being held.
Look, they are clearly hiding stuff. The first time they got into this case, they said they have a lot of picture, videos, voices, evidence of things that happened. And then the second time they came back, there was nothing. That's basically what is going on right now. And then the third time it came out there was 1,000 plus victims, but no perpetrator. Basically, is what they're saying. You see how that sounds? Again, it's a very, very, very big question mark. 1,000 cases, 0 people at fault. Impossible.
Helped in this release. I don't know if
Yep.
they're saying, "Oh, we're being so transparent here." Seems like the first big release was a nothing burger.
300
And they said
gigabytes
they
of
had,
data
reviewing
and
all
physical
these videos.
evidence.
Then they say if we have videos of people committing crimes, we tell you about those. And then they say we have thousands of videos, but we're not going to show you them because there's nothing to see. There's nobody on there important. I mean, it's
Full
just
of shit.
unbelievable.
Yep.
Quote, we did not uncover evidence that could predicate an investigation against uncharged third parties.
Bullshit.
In other words, there's nothing we found that would be useful for a future investigation.
Bullshit.
I get if you don't want to accuse someone in a press release of something that you haven't accused someone of, like with criminal charges, right? I get it. That's kind of the Department of Justice's way. Even if they have a file on somebody, but they're not going to charge them, they redact their names usually. But in this case, they're kind of saying we didn't find anything that we would. I mean, it's such a strongly worded statement. That's what's weird about it. Why wouldn't you just be vague if you had these pending cases, right? I find it so weird that the people in the FBI right now have come in with such a mission to, on the one hand, say, hey, we're going to be totally transparent. And then, oh, well, we're not going to show you that. We're not going to show you that. We don't want to re-victimize anyone. Okay, that's fine. But then how are you going to make a bunch of absolute statements that make no sense and contradict
Exactly
what you said earlier? Like,
and also that part whereby they don't want to victimize people. You know, they have made quite a number of mistakes in incriminating people. I will tell you that. And most of the time they do jump to conclusions real quick. But as soon, again, tinfoil hat theory, as soon as it comes to people of influential power or politicians, it's like, oh, we need to verify every single detail, every single drop of hair, every single sweat on the floor. Then we can actually say, yet, it's quite clear that this influential person has committed that particular crime. The bias for the FBI is insane, right? I also think that the FBI know it sounds extremely dumb, but there's no other way for them to obfuscate this thing. No matter what they say, no matter how they say it, it's gonna sound stupid. So, since it's already gonna sound stupid, may as well just go through with it, right? I don't know if it's true. Maybe the FBI is subtly confirming with us through that way that yes, there is something, but we won't tell you because the people don't want you to know. I think in a way what this statement is as subtle as that, right? They're being very subtle to us and say, yeah, there's definitely something. Oh yeah, but no, there's nothing. That kind of situation. Whew, this is an amazing case. But remember what I said, you're safe now, but if there's such thing called judgment, you won't be so safe.
If you're saying we can't say anything, then don't say anything. Don't say, hey, we're going to tell you everything.
Yep.
Well, we actually cannot. We can't actually.
Yeah.
Show
That's what I
and
meant.
that kind of
Subtly telling us that there's
overconfidence
something,
extends to
but they say,
also
but you'll never
their,
find out.
Announcement about, hey, there's nothing to see here.
Yep.
As far as the death of Epstein, because they don't really show much new here. We knew that this footage of the common area existed. Basically, they showed 10-hour footage of the common area during the time at which this all would have happened, Epstein's death. And so this is supposed to be like the absolute bulletproof, to show everyone that, oh, there's no way that someone could have gotten in here. But this is not actually Epstein's door. So, I mean, I don't know the exact layout of the prison. I'm not gonna pretend to know everything there.
Wait a minute. So they said that this is proof that nobody went to Epstein's prison cell because we have a 10-hour recording of a fucking random door, and that's not even Epstein's door. And they said this is the proof that no one went to it. What the? Make that make sense. Make that make sense. This is your proof that nobody went to his room, but this is not even his door you're recording. Bro, I'm telling you, man, either the FBI, you know, is too much of a boomer to understand how, well, I'm probably not, but, you know, either they're so dumb with technology they don't even know how to lie and don't know how to use all their most high-tech bullshit, or the FBI again is just literally saying, you know what, we know, you know, I'm just gonna give you some bullshit and let you talk, but you'll never see it either way. It doesn't matter. Just like aliens. In my opinion, I think there's aliens. Tinfoil theory from me. You know, I'm just gonna go a bit wild crazy, and the FBI knows there's fucking aliens. I'm telling you. We went too far. But yeah, this is fucking dumb. How is this supposed to prove shit? Plus, if they don't want you to see something and it's very fishy, it's already tampered with. This is one of the worst evidence. Again, 10-hour footage. No one came to Epstein's door. This is not even his door. They didn't even bother to make it look like his door. They didn't even bother to change anything. They just told you, yup, no, you're not gonna see it. And it's just, here's some random video. Believe it. And you know what's the crazy thing? There's people in this world who still believe stuff like this.
I don't know the exact layout of the prison. I'm not gonna pretend to know everything there. But this is no more proof than we already had. We already knew this existed. The questions were about all the security malfunctions of the much more important cameras than just the common area.
Wow. So, this high security prison holding high security prisoners all of a sudden had security camera malfunction. Oh, ooh, ooh. Who the fuck do you think you're talking to? You think we're that dumb? I mean, there are dumb people out there who believe that shit, but whoo! The ghost came. Jesus Christ.
I'm not sure how a 10-hour video of a common area definitively proves anything new. That's
yes,
what I'm
Coffee,
saying.
you're right.
You can't come in and go, hey, we got this bombshell. It's what you already knew. Right?
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense. And also, we've confirmed there's over 1,000 victims.
Yeah.
Don't know who by. I mean, like, only Epstein? Really? Look at the charges of Ghislaine Maxwell. I mean,
yeah.
It's insane. Are we saying they were all to Epstein? Every single one. Over 1,000 only for Epstein. The way he got his money, we have no idea. It doesn't make sense.
Yep.
So yeah, an incredibly frustrating day for anyone who is expecting anything new from this.
Don't be frustrated. You know it's not gonna happen.
House, get rid of the corruption. Fight for truth. Release the truth.
No.
You know, you're not gonna catch me hiding a guy on an island, right? And so I don't know. I was kind of stunned. I just thought, if you're gonna say this, which again doesn't really say anything new, only kind of, it's kind of like a backhanded, you know, hey, stop being such a conspiracy theorist, guys. You know, that is what I.
That's also crazy. I would disagree with Coffee here that the FBI is telling people to stop being such a bunch of conspiracy theories, because if they didn't want them to be conspiracy theories, they would have said there's nothing, there's no videos from the start, and that's it, full stop. But they're like saying 3, 4, 5 different things, 1,000 victims, no perpetrator. That brings in the conspiracy theory. And I do believe that I do strongly believe that the FBI, the CIA, and all these guys, they like people to make conspiracy theories, because majority of the time, and I'll say this, majority of the time, the conspiracy theory that usually wins is the crazy ones. Like them saying probably Epstein is a lizard man. The FBI is, yes, think about that. Yes, he's an lizard man. Oh, yes, that's the best conspiracy theory. And the people who are actually talking like real sense, like, you know, it's like the boring conspiracy theories, like the one I would consider myself the boring conspiracy theory where it's basically I'm just thinking it's the elite, you know, they're just trying to get away with it. But the crazies are the ones that people will follow. Yeah, I would probably say like Epstein was harboring aliens and alien technology in the children. Maybe they were not children. Maybe they were. Oh no, they were children, but they are the crossbreed species between aliens. You know, those are the conspiracy theories that the FBI. But yes, that's right, you dumb shit. Oh, I'm very sure that I'm very sure the FBI like the dumb conspiracy theories. Yeah. Even if I was the FBI, right, and I was the CIA, you know, I would encourage the crazies to come up with the conspiracy theories.
I find strange. Just the absolute over-promising and under-delivering.
Yep.
I mean, again, if you're going to open source everything, okay, that's fine. If you're not going to open source everything, you're going to say, hey, we got to protect people, fine. Don't make a bunch of pronouncements and don't deliver on them. Just kind of a complete self-own here. But it's also what you get when you say for years that the deep state is hiding something and then you become the deep state.